What's up guys, it's your girl Danielle and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing another DIY project. My most recent DIY was, of course, this creation you see behind me. If you've seen that video, you saw me organize this area of my room. I put the shelves up there, the wall shelves, and the drawer that's on the floor below it. If you haven't seen that video, you can go ahead and watch it. I will put the link to that video in the description box of this video, and there will also be a clickable link at the end of this video if you want to see it. But anyhow, after I assembled this whole corner, got everything organized over there, I just really had this strong addiction to wanting to do more DIYs, like just for me. And because I got this camera, I might as well just show y'all. And see up there where the mannequins are, not the mannequins on the wall shelves, but the mannequins on the drawer. I'm going to be taking those mannequins off, and if you read the title of this video, which you probably had to read the title of the video to watch it, you know that I am going to be making the distress mason jars in this video. And I'm just going to be making them, and I'm going to sit them on top of there because I need to cuten up this corner just a little bit. I got the idea from Pinterest. I wasn't really like a big person who was always on Pinterest until yesterday. I had Pinterest over the years, you know, back in the day, but it really didn't do anything for me. And then yesterday I was hooked. Yesterday I was on there pretty much the whole entire morning looking at home decor, DIY projects for you know, home decoration. And I don't know whether it's because I want to buy a house here pretty soon, or as to why I'm so into this, you know, home improvement stuff, DIY projects, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So we are going to get into this video, and I am going to show you guys how to create the distress mason jars. Now, before we get started, here's a quick overview of what you're going to need for this project. You're going to need 3 mason jars, or however many you require for your project. Frog lid inserts to transform your mason jars into flower vases. And of course, whatever colors your heart desires. I'm going to use 3 different chalk finish colors. You will need a paintbrush, some twine. I'm using just a natural color. And you're also going to need a 180 grit sandpaper. And last, you're going to need some artificial flowers, whichever ones you decide to use. Now, to start this project off, what you're going to do is unscrew the top of your mason jar, remove both pieces, and then you're just going to set it to the side. You're going to take whatever color you want to start with. I'm going to start with the white. And here I have a mixing tray, like a paint mixing tray. I'm just going to put a little bit of the paint in the tray and then start painting the glass. I'm using acrylic chalk paint, so it doesn't really matter how much paint you put, how thick the layers are. It all, in the end, it dries pretty much evenly. Now that I've got all the first coat of white on the first jar, I'm going to let that air dry while I apply the pink color to the next jar. And the same exact process as the first 2 jars. While the white and the pink jar are drying, I am going to apply that third and final color to the last jar, which is the gray. So now the first coat of all 3 colors has been applied to all 3 jars, and now I'm just going to let them sit for about 45 minutes to dry. Now that my first coat on each jar is completely dry, I'm going to go back over each jar with its individual color and apply a second coat. I'm making sure to fill in any areas that I may have missed or any areas that are a little bit too streaky. And this is what it looks like once all 3 jars have received both coats of color. As you can see, the jars look evenly distributed with color. So I'm just going to let this sit for another 30 to 45 minutes to dry completely. Once your jars are completely dry, you're going to sand them to give them that distressed look. When you're sanding the jars, you need to use 180 grit sandpaper. In my case, I have a sanding sponge, which is perfectly fine as long as it's 180 grit. Then you're going to just take the 180 grit side and you're going to sand all the raised edges on each jar. This was my first time. I started off by lightly sanding, and this is what it looks like when you lightly sand it. And I learned real quickly that you can apply a lot of pressure. How much you sand is solely up to you. You can sand it just a little bit, you can sand it a lot. I'm going to pretty much sand off all of the paint that's on the wording just to give it that rustic, old, vintage, distressed look. Now that all the raised edges are done, I'm going to just sand just a little corner of the top of the jar to finish it off of that distressed look. And there we have it, jar number 1 done. Then you're just going to repeat the process all over again with the gray jar and then the pink. And there it is. This is what they look like once they've all been sanded down. And this is just a quick look at the other sides of the jars just so you can see how I sanded the other parts. Now before I add the final touches, I took the jars into my room and placed them on top of the shelf just to make sure I like how all the colors mesh together in the room light. And I loved it. Okay, so to finish off the jar, you're going to use your frog lid inserts. You're going to take one out and you are going to replace that frog lid insert with the insert that comes on the lid already. So you're just going to take the insert out of the lid, put it to the side, and see how the frog lid insert fits right in there. You're going to place it back on top of the jar, and then you're just going to screw on the top. Next, you're going to need your twine, and you're going to make a bow. Now you can make the bow however big you want to. I'm just gonna kind of make it like a medium to small size bow. It doesn't have to be really big for me, but this is your project, so you are entitled to do whatever it is that you like. I'm just gonna loop it around, tie it, and then make a bow. And then you just cut off the end. And for the next 2 jars, you just repeat the same exact process. We're almost done. Time to add the flower. So basically what you're going to do now is take a mason jar, lay it next to the stem of the flower, and you're just going to use the jar as a measuring tape to see where to cut the stem. You want to cut the stem however far you want the flower to fall from the top of the jar. Once you have it measured, you're just going to take some scissors and cut. You're not going to be able to cut all the way through because there is a wire in there, but I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But in the meantime, you're going to measure and cut, measure, and cut. And this is the wire I was talking about you couldn't cut. You just jiggle it until it breaks off and you're good to go. Add your flowers to your mason jars and you have a masterpiece. Look at how cute these jars are. I absolutely love them. I am so in love with DIYs and I cannot wait to find something else to do. So in the meantime, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel and I will bring you more videos like this and even more. Bye guys.